Okay, so the dough rose overnight, and we're gonna prep it now to bake it. Sometimes, and most of the time, I actually do this. I prep the dough, and then I put it in a bowl, this bowl, and I allow it to proof during the course of a day, about 6 hours, and then I bake it. But and that allows more of the sourdough taste to come out, apparently. But today, because of time constraints, I'm just going to go ahead and prep it, put it in the pot, and then bake it. So to prep it, first thing you do, get out a cutting board and spread some flour on that cutting board. This is where you're going to put the dough here in a minute. Spread that flour out a little bit. And then this is the dough from last night. You'll see that it rose really nicely. It actually pushed the top off of the cover off the top of the bowl. You can see how it's risen. And I'm going to put that down on this baking sheet now. You can see that the consistency of the dough is completely different from the dough that we originally made it yesterday. Okay, so we put that down. Okay, and then we do I put a little bit of flour on the dough so you can deal with it a little bit better. And you basically do the stretch and fold again 4 times on the dough. And what you're going to notice as you're doing this actually is sometimes air bubbles actually get created. So when you're done with these stretches and folds, you end up kind of forming it into a ball. Okay? Now, I'm going to put this ball in the pot. 2 things on the pot. First of all, I have the bottom of the pot where I'm using the parchment paper. And then the other thing that I've done is I've created a ring to put around the ball so that when it sits in the pot, it's going to, and bake, it's going to rise vertically. And I'll talk a little bit about the baking procedure that I use. But to make this, I basically take a sheet of parchment and then I fold it 4 times, and then I attach the ends using staples, and that creates this barrier effectively. And I've used this particular one probably 4 or 5 times, so when you make it, you can use it multiple times. Anyway, so here's our bread. I'm going to put it inside of that mold. Okay. Then I'm going to make 3 cuts on it. Okay, and then the other thing that I saw in one of the recipes is to throw some water on it. Apparently, this helps it helps the crust. Okay, so I'm going to spray that a little bit. Put the cover on, and we are going to bake this for 30 minutes. So I'm going to go put this in the oven. Now, when I put it in the oven, the other thing that I do is I have a pan that has water in it that I put underneath the pot. Okay, and the reason for this is for part of the baking, we're going to have the cover off of the pot, and the water here actually adds humidity to the oven and allows you to bake a better crust. Also, having this underneath the pot makes it so that the bottom of the bread when it's baking doesn't get overly crispy. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and put this in the oven first, and then I'll put the pot in the oven, and we're going to bake that for 30 minutes. Then what I do is I remove the sleeve and I bake for another 10 minutes, and then I remove the cover and I bake it for 17 minutes. So the procedure is 30 minutes with the cover and the sleeve, okay? Then 10 minutes with the sleeve removed and just the cover on, and then 17 minutes with the cover off, and obviously the sleeve is off. And that's how I'm going to make the bread, okay? And it's baking at 420, so the oven's already preheated.